I decided to learn how to do an LCD in 7 days. This video is about my progress from day 1 to day 7. I have always been impressed by people controlling their bodies in amazing ways. I wanted to learn at least one move to control my body as they do, but every time I was trying, I wasn't able to do it consistently enough to progress. The frustration was real. I'd watch these incredible athletes and think, will I ever be able to do that? Recently, I stumbled upon multiple videos where people were able to learn the LCD in a very short amount of time, and I decided to check if I could do it too. On day 1, I decided to check if I could hold an LC for at least a couple of seconds. Quite soon, I figured out that it wasn't really easy. First of all, I felt from the beginning that my body wasn't flexible enough for it. Not that I didn't know this before, but I just got another confirmation of it. My shoulders screamed, my core burned, and honestly, I felt a bit defeated. Then I noticed that the core needs to be really in good shape in order to hold legs straight. That's why I decided to start with bending my legs to be able to hold that position for at least some time. But little did I know, day 2 would bring a game-changing realization. On day 2, I decided to train using chairs. My thought was that it would be much easier to hold the position with legs bent, just to train my arms, and I think it was good because I was able to change legs and train with one leg being straight while bending the other. For the first time, I actually felt like I was making progress. My arms weren't shaking so much, and I could feel my body starting to understand the movement. I was full of energy and ready to conquer the floor again. However, day 3 was about to humble me in ways I wasn't prepared for. I started day 3 with training on the floor again. Very quickly, I noticed that I hadn't made much progress compared to day 1. The confidence I'd built using chairs completely destroyed. I almost gave up because it was the middle of the week and I was still struggling. I sat there on the floor, staring at my hands, wondering if I was just fooling myself. The voice in my head kept saying, maybe you're just not built for this. First, I decided to include stretching in my everyday routine, and second, I decided to research if I was doing something wrong. And it helped. What I discovered next would completely change everything. Pretty quickly, I found advice on hand placement. The key is to leave some gap between your palm and the surface of the floor. I would have never imagined that such a small thing makes such a big difference. I decided to try this method right away, and suddenly I was able to hold something looking like an L seat for a couple of seconds. It was incredible. My heart was pounding, not from exhaustion this time, but from pure joy. I actually did it. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. But the real breakthrough was still coming. The next day, I decided to apply another improvement to my training routine. I started using push-up bars, and it made a huge difference, especially considering that fixing my body flexibility quickly wasn't easy. The extra height gave me the clearance I needed, and suddenly everything clicked. I remember thinking, this is it, this is what progress feels like. The frustration from the previous days melted away, replaced by genuine excitement for what the final days would bring. The next days, I was just practicing by doing the same exercises every day, starting my practice with some stretching, trying to hold the LC position as long as I could. And when I had no more strength in my arms, I practiced with my legs bent. Each day, I could feel myself getting a little stronger, a little more stable. The journey was becoming addictive. I actually looked forward to my daily practice sessions. On day 7, I decided to measure how long I could hold the LC position. This was the moment of truth. The result wasn't great. I was able to do it for around 10 seconds, but I felt happy. Obviously, it was better than in the beginning. I know that the posture was still far from perfect, but for me, the main point was that I was able to progress compared to myself in a very short time. Looking back at day 1 me, struggling to hold it for even a couple of seconds, I realized I had actually done something pretty incredible. So my final thought is that if we truly want to start doing something, we don't need to complicate things, and it's better to take tiny steps each day instead of planning great big moves and doing nothing towards our goals and dreams. Sometimes the biggest victories come from the smallest, consistent efforts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share your experience of learning calisthenics moves in the comments below. See you in the next one.